Hey, I got something to show you guys. Take a look. It is spring. Happy spring to all of you. Take a look at what we have here for you from AlleyRoseFragrances.com. Beautiful spring scent candles here for you. Hand poured with premium fragrance and essential oils. How about this? Our coconut soy wax candles bring fresh, uplifting spring scents to your home. Made with clean, natural ingredients, they're a mindful choice for sensitive spaces and those who love effortless seasonal fragrances. You got to check it out right now. There's the soft bloom and the lemon bar candles, all healthy ingredients, all from AlleyRoseFragrances.com. And if you're a first-time customer, use the promo code InsideEdge20. That's InsideEdge20. Get this for yourself, for your friends, family, everyone. You want a good smelling home, AlleyRoseFragrances.com will make it happen. Again, AlleyRoseFragrances.com. Get the new spring candles. And when you order, if you're a first-time customer, InsideEdge20 is the promo code.
Fanatics isn't just our name, it's who we are. Loyal, passionate fans dedicated to our favorite teams and to the sports we love. That's why we're honored to be able to offer fans the world's largest collection of official sports apparel and sports jerseys from all the leagues, teams, and players you love. We feature a wide selection of gear from every league, including NFL, MLB, NBA, NHL, and NCAA merchandise, which allows us to serve fans of football, baseball, hockey, basketball, lacrosse, soccer, golf, and everything else that gets your heart pumping. Go to Fanatics.com by using the QR code on your screen right now to celebrate your teams.
All right, folks. It's another Monday here on the Inside Edge Network. You know what that means. It is time for Inside Edge Primetime here on the Inside Edge Network. Chad, Bryan, to my right, your left, I'm Eli Moon. I had a little bit of a jump scare. Sometimes you don't get the screen. Sometimes you get me looking very serious at the screen. Chad just doing shoulder turns. And that is our treat to you here on this Monday. We are having a Monday, but it is a thriving Monday. It was over 70 degrees in Cleveland, Ohio. We are Cleveland's digital leader, so we figured to give you a little update on the weather. Also, the Cavaliers are Game 7 victorious. We'll talk about that and what this means for the second round and the Detroit Pistons. We'll talk some guards ball later. Travis Bazzana on the board officially. Got his first hit the other day. We'll talk about that. And of course, I have some very strong takes, and I'm sure Chad does, on the NBA playoffs. What is going on with the Boston Celtics? And is Jaylen Brown going to be a long-term Celtic? We'll talk about that a little bit later on in the show. Of course, you see him. That's my bro, Chad Bryan. He is probably the worst chicken sandwich ranker of all time. But what he is really good at is talking sports and being my bro. How are you doing, my guy? How you doing?
I finally made it to the list of chicken sandwich rankers. I don't care where I am on the list, and that's fun. I'm doing pretty good, man. First of all, Matt would be so proud of you. You said the temperature, you gave the weather today.
Yeah.
I thought it was very professional. No green screen. You didn't have to point at a cold front or anything, but you'll ease into that as we go. Yeah. And as far as the jump scare, sorry, everybody. I think we're all good. I'm good, man. How are you? It's Monday.
Doing great.
I used to be excited for Mondays, man, but now this is what we do. So yeah, this is way cooler. I also noticed in that opening screen, we got to work on that. We worked on all the breaks and stuff to change all the days for everything all through the network. And then our title screen at the very opening of the show says we're only Monday through Thursday. That's not true. We're Monday through Friday. Other than that, I'm good, man.
Yeah, you're dang right. We're Monday through Friday. We're going to be rocking with you all week long, 10 to 11 p.m. Of course, if you were tuned in earlier today, I produced the show that has just now become a daily show and very strong presence on the Inside Edge Network by our bro, Kyle Cornell, on Filtered with Kyle Cornell, 5 to 6 p.m. Eastern time here on the Inside Edge Network. Some really, really strong takes. You'll have to hear from Kyle a little bit later on in the show if you missed yesterday's show and what to expect for tomorrow. So some great stuff coming out of there. Of course, Midnight Run with Anthony Alford to follow this show at midnight. So some great, great stuff. And we have some exciting programming announcements for the Inside Edge Network coming up later on in the show. So you're not going to want to go anywhere, all right? I know you're going to need a drink, a Dr. Pepper, a Pepsi, whatever you're drinking, and you might need dinner on the West Coast. I get it. That's why we have mobile devices where you can walk around. So take us with you. All right?
I was going to say do it after the show, but you're right. It's better to probably just take us. Yeah, we don't mind. We're portable. Yeah, we're fine.
So Papa Moon told me one time, Chad, and we'll get into sports in a second. Papa Moon told me that I'm a procrastinator at times. And if I don't do it right then and there, that I won't do it. So I'm just thinking that maybe our audience, maybe our fans, our fam out there could be the same as Eli Moon. Maybe not. I mean, that's okay. But might need to make sure they take care of business. So take care of business. I thought you wanted
me to rework the intro right now. I was like, okay, I'll go to work, man. Whatever. Take me off the screen. I'm good.
We are going to break and we'll be back. No, I'm kidding. All right. So let's dive into it, Chad. The Cavaliers victorious. I mean, we thought we'd be having at one point, we were texting yesterday. We thought, all right, buddy, we might be having a little rough prime time tomorrow. Cavs are looking a little rough. And then all of a sudden they didn't. Jared Allen, hello, welcome to the NBA playoffs. And it just
it's a good time to show up. Game 7, third quarter. Yeah.
22 points, 19 rebounds for Jared Allen. The Cavs victorious. I believe the final score is 114-102 for the Cavaliers. And they do defeat the Toronto Raptors. They advance to the second round of the playoffs where they will play the top-seeded Detroit Pistons, division rival. They won't have the home court advantage as obviously the Pistons are the 1 seed, Cavs being the 4 seed. So, Chad, I mean, before we dive into this Pistons matchup, we can talk about that. We're going to talk about it all week long here.
Oh, for sure.
Let's talk about this matchup yesterday. Game 7, a game a lot of us were worried about here in Cleveland, and the Cavs end up with a 12-point winner. They are moving on to the second round. What did you make of this game? What did you make of this series for the Cavaliers?
You have to wonder. This felt a little bit like an effort thing, right? It's like I don't know. Maybe they just found the right rotation and the right scheme and the right way to attack or whatever after halftime. But man, 49-49 at halftime, which it's wild that these two teams went in tied for the entire series into that halftime of Game 7. I don't know the exact number of points. I think it was like 798 to 798 for the whole series. That is absolutely insane that they were completely tied up to that point. You can't get a closer series than that, right? That was pretty cool. But not if you're, not if you're a fan of one of the teams, but just looking at it from an outside set of eyes, I thought that was a cool stat. But back as a Caps fan, it feels like an effort thing, right? The defensive intensity turned up in the third quarter. Jared Allen, I don't know what happened to him in the third quarter. I don't know if somebody said something to him. It finally got through to him. Somebody either I pissed him off or reminded him that he was an actual NBA basketball player. He was unearthly in that third quarter. He was so good. I think he had like 800 points and 400 rebounds just in the third quarter.
Something like that.
It sounded up a bit, but he was really, really good. Max Strus was really active defensively, in the third. It was just like guys looked. The effort was there. It was amazing. The intensity. It was like all of a sudden they kind of woke up and they figured out what they were doing. Right? Like how when you're overthinking it and you're like, well, for instance, like when I played basketball in high school, younger, I played my freshman year, and I didn't really know the play. I didn't know the offense that well, and I always felt like I was thinking too much on the floor. I wasn't just like reacting to the flow of the game. Right.
So
I never really felt in it. That's how the Cavs looked for the first. I don't know, for about 3/4 of almost every game in this series. They would pick one quarter where they would just go hard at it, right?
Mm-hmm.
After games 1 and 2. And that's kind of what it was last night. That third quarter made all the difference. But whatever. Hey, it's in the past now. They did what they had to do to get past the Raptors. It took maybe a little bit more effort than we would have liked. There's two schools of thought, Eli. It's either that you can be happy that they've been tested so early that may help them going forward, or you can, worry that now that, they've been tested by the 5 seed. Now they got to go play the 1 seed in the Pistons. So I don't know. I feel like on one hand, it's good for them. On the other hand, it makes me a little bit nervous moving ahead. But I just thought the third quarter was amazing. It was a lot of fun to watch, and just glad they won, man.
Absolutely, Chad. And I'll be glass half full for a moment here. I'd be a little bit more worried if the Pistons had swept Orlando or 1-5, but they had to do the same thing against Orlando and struggle. And let's not forget the Cavaliers. Yeah, and the Cavaliers were never down in the series, technically. Series lead, they never trailed. They were never backs completely against the wall. Felt like it, but let's remember Detroit, and we'll talk about them in a little bit. They were 3-1 down to Orlando, right? They were down 3-1. I mean, their backs were truly against the wall. And so you are getting a Detroit team that's having to play the same kind of series, but really fight for 3 must-win games. So I think that's important too. And at least to your point, the Cavaliers survived their test. We'll talk about Boston as well later on. Yeah. They got some problems going on, and they did not survive their test. And the Philadelphia right now, not surviving whatever. I mean, if this is a midterm, if this is like, you take this home. I was never good at those tests when you took them home to like pops and mom, and you're like, all right, and you're gonna, and you're gonna do them. Your parents are gonna grade them. Okay. You know how many times those tests didn't even see the light of my parents' eyes? Okay.
Well, you're a procrastinator. You waited too long, and then
Yeah. So, I just, you look at this, Philly's getting absolutely mopped right now. I'm looking here for a live score, but they are getting absolutely mopped by the Sixers, by the Knicks, 106-75, 27 seconds left in the third quarter. And this is crazy because Philadelphia, I was talking to a few of people around me, right? And they were saying, Philadelphia looked like maybe the best team in the Eastern Conference based off they beat Boston. They beat one of the top, if not the top contender in the Eastern Conference. And now they are getting absolutely mopped by New York.
My goodness.
Long series, however, because we thought
like John Starks and Patrick Ewing and Charles Oakley. I mean, this is wild out of the Knicks, man. This is crazy.
But you know what? It's a long series, Chad. Everybody thought the Sixers were dead when they were down 3-1 because we talk about 3-1 leads, and we love them here because we know how to beat them. But unfortunately, the Celtics fell a 3-1 deficit. They experienced some Golden State-esque type vibes from 2016, and that's what happened there. And I think so. To be long-winded here, we'll go to the NBA playoffs in a little bit, but stay Cavs-centric here. 2 things: they're playing a Pistons team that had to go through the same type of struggles, if not a little bit tougher, with Orlando. Yeah. And 2, they survived the test. We could have been talking about how they flunked out of school basically going into this Monday, and it's a completely tear down. It's a complete different discussion. Yeah. It's what do we do with Evan Mobley? Yeah. What do we do with Jared Allen? What do we do with James Harden? What do we do with Donovan Mitchell? What do we do with Kenny Atkinson? At least for another 4 to 7 games, those conversations will be a little quieter, and that's a good thing.
I agree. I think it is a good thing. It's nice to be talking about actual on-court basketball. We're in May now. It would be nice if we were still talking about it in June, but hey, we'll take what we can get. I would rather be talking about what we're going to do against the Pistons and Cade Cunningham and company than,
lost Chad here for a moment. Oh, we might have lost him here, folks.
Well, that's okay. Yeah, I think did we both go down there? I think we both went down for a moment there. Or maybe maybe only
No, I think it was just you, pal. I think it was just you. We'll throw the tape.
Yeah, I thought I was not going to come back from a 3-1 deficit there. I thought I was out of the series, but I don't remember what I said. It probably wasn't anything very poignant. I think it's just yeah. Sure.
Fair. No. I mean, I think we share the same sentiment though, Chad. It's the Cavaliers were breathing a sigh of relief. We're breathing the sigh of relief that they are able to move on to the second round. And I told this to one of the bros earlier, before, well before we got on air, even before Unfiltered. I said, am I, and I asked this to Kyle too, more so about the Detroit Orlando, but just in general, I feel better about playing Detroit than I do Toronto, even though I called the 5-game series, but a few games in, I'm like, maybe I shouldn't have said that. Am I wrong? I'll ask the same question I asked Kyle earlier on Unfiltered when he brought me on here from behind the producer's chair for a second. Am I wrong for believing that we're in a better spot playing Detroit than if Orlando would have made it out of that series?
It depends. Is it the same hobbled Orlando roster or is it a full strength? I think it feels like the Cavs match. I mean, they're the 1 seed, and it sounds crazy, but I feel like the Cavs match up against the Pistons a little bit better. Mm-hmm. I think Donovan Mitchell's going to have a little bit more freedom to do what he does in this series. Mm-hmm. I think, and the Pistons are still going to try to keep him from getting to the hole, right? They're that's what they're going to do. But I don't think they have anyone like Scotty Barnes that can go out and be a problem for Donovan Mitchell. I mean, Scotty Barnes, just overmatched Donovan Mitchell. I mean, with the size and length and the ability to just really kind of get down and move his feet and stay with Donovan Mitchell and keep him from getting to the rim. I don't think the Pistons have a guy like that. They have Cade Cunningham. He's going to score a bunch of points, right? But I think I've said it before. If you can absorb that and kind of just hold everybody else at bay, they don't have a super reliable second and third option, right? So take care of the basketball. Let Donovan Mitchell, create a little bit. I think I think you'll see a little bit better series out of him against Detroit. I think he just matchup wise defensively, I don't think they have the same kind of, and not that the Raptors are in. I don't know. I struggle with this because the Pistons were the second ranked defense in the regular season, but it's a JB Bickerstaff defense, and we've seen what happens in the playoffs. And I don't mean to keep harping on it, but man, sometimes that, those regular season numbers don't matter. And they were good against the Magic, but again, that's an 8 seed. It's a play-in team.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they can be as effective defensively. Maybe I hope they can't be, but I just don't think they will be against the Cavs. I think the Cavs are going to find a little bit more freedom to move around and score and do what they like to do on offense.
Yeah, and it's going to come down to, on offense for the Pistons, it's going to come down to who's going to score besides Cade Cunningham. Kyle actually brought up a really good point on Unfiltered earlier. And I asked, you do the Jordan rule. Do you let Cade go get his 30 plus and let the rest of the team figure out how they're going to get around this, Cavaliers defense? Or do you shut everybody else down? Or excuse me, do you shut Cade Cunningham down and let everybody else get theirs? I think, I lean towards just letting Cade get his, and not letting him, but more so, you know what, if he can't move the ball, because that's the biggest thing with Cade Cunningham. He is so efficient as a passer. And when he's creating those passing lanes, that's when he's most dangerous. And it comes by getting a shot going. If we can at least shut down one element of his game, which is passing the ball, then it's going to be tougher for the Pistons to get these good looks. It's going to be tougher for Tobias Harris to replicate some of his, magic the other night, where he was just shooting the lights out of the ball. I mean, it was incredible. I mean, he was playing real well there for the Pistons. It's going to shut that down. And then the other thing, too, and I know we got to go to break here in just a few moments, and we'll talk Pistons again. We're not going anywhere. We're with you Monday through Friday here on Inside Edge Primetime. Official this week. An extra day here for you. Great stuff. So we'll talk Pistons and Cavs, or Cavs and Pistons all week. But the one thing I will mention, too, Chad, is
Cavs.
Jalen Duren and Isaiah Stewart. They may not be the greatest bigs. Jalen Duren up for Most Improved Player of the Year. Isaiah Stewart just real physical. But these guys are going to rough and tough the Cavaliers. And they are going to question if Jared Allen and Evan Mobley want to go down there and get physical. Do they want to, get towards the glass and really move? Or are they going to push Evan Mobley out to be a 3-point shooter? Are we going to have Jared Allen disappear for another 3.5 games, 4 games, whatever? And we can't have that. And I think, yes, we need Donovan to be more efficient. We absolutely cannot have 9 of 20 most of this series. We need a little bit more efficient shooting. We need to see, less turnovers out of James Harden. But the big thing I think in this series is going to be the front court. It is going to be Jared Allen continuing him being a grown-ass man and just absolutely dominating. And it's going to be on Evan Mobley to continue. They talked about making the step. And he started to do that a little bit in the Toronto series, getting the ball in his hands at the end of game 6 and laying that into what I thought would eventually win the game off the tie. And it didn't. We're here. It's okay. But that's what is going to come down to, Chad, is the front court. Are they going to out-physical Jalen Duren, Isaiah Stewart, and these bigs of Detroit? Or are they going to get bullied? Because that's going to set the tone for the series one way or the other.
Yeah, Duren was an all-star, correct?
Yes, Duren all-star, Most Improved Player candidate. So
yeah. Okay, so I thought it was you're going to have a challenge there for sure. But yeah, I think maybe Jared Allen realizes he can play like that now.
I sure hope so. And we'll keep an eye on it. We got some very exciting news, and we'll go ahead and announce it here tomorrow. Stay tuned on the Inside Edge Network, because we will have Cavs radio voice, play-by-play announcer Tim Alcorn back on the network here on the Inside Edge Network. This time sitting down with Chad and I, and it'll be very, very exciting. That will absolutely air after Unfiltered with Kyle Cornell. It'll basically serve as your pregame. So Cavs are on at 7. Unfiltered goes 5 to 6 p.m. here on the Inside Edge Network, Kyle Cornell. 6:30, Chad and I's interview will air with Tim Alcorn to get you ready for the Cavs game 1 against the Detroit Pistons. That'll serve as our pregame. We'll get some information from Tim and see how he's feeling after the Raptors calling that entire series, and how this Pistons matchup shakes up and how we look going forward. And then if you miss it, I advise you not to miss it. But if you happen to be doing something before pregame, running out, grabbing pizza for the fam, whatever, you may catch it on primetime after the show. So stay tuned. A lot of great stuff here on the Inside Edge Network. Yes. If you're just tuning in, hello. That's Chad Bryan. I'm Eli Moon. This is Inside Edge Primetime. make sure you give us a follow, a like, a subscribe, all the great stuff at InsideEdge Net on all the socials. That's how you stay tuned in. Hit the bell, and you always know when we're going live and giving you something different. We're your leader in sports, entertainment, mental health conversations, so much more. Obviously, we just brought news into the fold as well. Kyle leading the charge with news, some real strong stuff earlier today, and important for the next generation. So very, very important stuff. All what we're covering. We're Cleveland's digital leader, but we're bringing it to you worldwide. So give us a like, subscribe, follow Inside Edge Net, and check out the cool website, man. InsideEdgeNetwork.com. If you go to the QR code where it's right above Chad's head, he does a real good job pointing. Boom, there we are.
I find it every time, man. Every time.
So good, man. It's like we've been doing this. Dude, it takes you right to the partners page, and it'll go InsideEdgeNetwork.com/partners. It'll take you to, you saw at the beginning here, AlleyRoseFragrances.com, the code InsideEdge20 for first-time customers. 20% off your order. Get some great stuff for the house, candles, body mist, and Fanatics. Get some great gear. I know you'll be feeling a lot better wearing a Jaron Allen jersey here today. So go to Fanatics, take advantage, use the QR code. And then while you're there, check out all of our other fantastic partners such as W Energy, Monster Moments, and of course, sports memorabilia. Some great, great stuff. We have other partners that are show specific, they're partner with the shows. You have Omega Video Marketing and just a ton of other great sponsors. Go check out that partners page, toggle over to the shop page, and you can go ahead and get some great Inside Edge Network merch and support. Be one of the cool kids just like us, So it'd be real cool. Again, that's the website, InsideEdgeNetwork.com. And with that, Chad, I think we're going to take a little pause here. Pause for the cause. We're going to
do it.
Hear from, we're going to show the people out there, if they're just now tuning in, some of the great shows that you can catch. Yes, you, right here on the Inside Edge Network. We'll hear from a few of our sponsors, and we're right back talking the NBA playoffs. I have some things to say. I said a little bit yesterday at Main Event, Chad. I got some things to say about Jaylen Brown.
Okay.
So when we come back, we'll talk about Jaylen Brown. We'll talk about the Boston Celtics, the NBA playoffs, so much more. But that's Chad Bryan. I'm Eli Moon. This is Inside Edge Primetime here on the Inside Edge Network. Don't go anywhere.
Mosser Moments Photography is a husband and wife wedding photography team based in Cleveland, owned and operated by Inside Edge Network's very own Ryan Mosser and his wife Hallie. For the past 10 years, they've captured more than 100 weddings across Northeast Ohio and beyond, always working together as a true two-person team. Their style centers on authentic, emotional storytelling, documenting the real moments between two people in love and creating images that feel natural, comfortable, and true to the couple. Rooted in Northern Ohio but inspired by their travels, Ryan and Hallie bring a warm, personal approach to every wedding day. Their work blends experience, consistency, and a genuine passion for helping couples relive their best day through timeless photography. Learn more at MosserMomentsPhotography.com by using the QR code on your screen right now. MosserMomentsPhotography.com, a proud sponsor of the Inside Edge Network, Cleveland's digital leader. Clean energy, bold flavors, and no jitters. See why people won't shut up about Dubby. Clean energy, no jitters or crash. Whether you're starting your workday or getting ready to exercise, Dubby Energy helps you lock in and focus. With over 15 flavors to choose from, you can't miss. Order Dubby Energy right now by using the QR code on your screen and use the promo code InsideEdge10 to receive 10% off your order. Dubby Energy, your energy-focused sponsor of the Inside Edge Network, Cleveland's digital leader.
And we thank you for your support of the Inside Edge Network. And don't miss my show, Midnight Run, right here on the Inside Edge Network. You won't miss a single episode when you like and subscribe at Inside Edge Net.
And welcome back to Inside Edge Primetime here on the Inside Edge Network. Chad Bryan over there to my right, which, ladies and gentlemen, that would mean he's over to your left. And I'm Eli Moon, and we are back here on Inside Edge Primetime here, again, on the Inside Edge Network. I found out that I have more lights in this house that I did not have on during the first segment. So, alas, I have a little bit more light. And
you reminded me.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, we were just doing midnight run, I guess, ourselves, a little midnight run, burning the midnight oil.
Power outage version over here. I don't know what's going on.
Sure it was, pal. But we are back. We're rocking and rolling. Cavs led that first segment. If you're just tuning in, thank you for your support. We talked a ton of Cavs, that Pistons matchup coming up, and just celebrating a little bit of that Raptors win. I mean, we got the series win over the Raptors. It's a great day here in Cleveland. The sun was shining. It did rain for a moment, but that is May in Cleveland. But we are here, and we are in the second round, and that's a great thing, Chad, because
Did I just hear honestly, a drum roll?
Sure did. The ghost might have got back in the studio. Sure did, because that's my drum roll.
I thought something really dramatic was about to happen. I didn't know what was going on.
Actually, you know what? Cue it up one more time. I got some things to say about Jaylen Brown and the Boston Celtics, Chad. I absolutely don't understand what's going on with the Boston Celtics. This team won an NBA championship, 2 years ago?
Yeah.
And here we are talking about a team that, you have your star player out. Let me be clear. Your star player, for anybody out there watching in Boston right now, I love you, Massachusetts. Shout out to Massachusetts. But your star player was out for most of the year, Jason Tatum. The guy that you built your franchise around. And Jaylen Brown, don't get me wrong, is definitely the number 2 in Boston. But we found out very quickly in a Game 7 why Jaylen Brown is number 2 in Boston and not number 1. Now, don't get me wrong, Chad. Did a great job building this entire, the season, right? Without Jason Tatum leading the regular season charge, being the number 2 seed. But to me, I just have a hunch, in my opinion. We talked a little bit about a main event yesterday. I think that was Jaylen Brown's last game as a Boston Celtic. I think he will not be a Boston Celtic moving forward. I think they will look to make a move, whether it's for Giannis Antetokounmpo, as Robert Zicki mentioned yesterday, whether it's for another star, whoever it may be. I think the comments he made about the flopping, the first thing out of his mouth in the press conference is, well, Joel Embiid's a great player, one of the best bigs of all time in basketball history, but, the flopping and it's the league we're in. We know it's the league we're in because you do the same shit. Excuse my language here at 10:30 or whatever at night. You do the same stuff, Jaylen Brown. You push off. AA is articulated here on Midnight Run about the forearm push off and shoving off. We've seen it here against the Cavaliers. He does the same stuff. So I don't really love that your star player, the guy who, okay, Tatum's out. So this is the face right now. That's the first thing out of your mouth. And then you go double down on your podcast about flopping and he knows what he was doing. Jaylen Brown, respectfully, no one cares. No one cares. I don't understand because Jaylen Brown's a smart guy. All credit to him. He's the youngest dude to ever speak at Harvard and give a lecture. I mean, he's a smart guy. So the fact that he's talking out of his ass like this about flopping and this and that, I think the Celtics have just kind of increasingly, and I don't know, I'm not inside the organization, but from the outside looking in, it appears that the Celtics are growing increasingly sick of just the talk and the podcast and this and that. Why are we paying you at one point the most money in NBA history? Yeah. And it's just so much complaints, Chad. And I'm curious your thoughts. But the last thing I'll say about this is Jason Tatum was out. Jaylen Brown, they asked him about it. He said, well, I didn't know anything about it. They told me about 45 minutes before the game. I wonder why that is. Almost like they don't have plans for you moving forward, that you don't need to be in the know because you're not going to be here. Am I wrong?
Well, maybe they didn't want him to reveal it on a Twitch stream. I don't know what that was about. I've never really listen. I get it. We live in a world where anybody can sit down and you can immediately be live on multiple platforms, right? You can talk to a lot of different people at one time, and you can get your thoughts out there very quickly. Meanwhile, back in the day, I grew up with Michael Jordan going to Atlantic City during playoff series, and no one knew unless you happened to see him in the casino, right?
Yeah,
that you didn't. I mean, there wasn't social media; it wasn't all over the place. It didn't get posted everywhere, right? So it's a different world, and maybe I'm a little old school or whatever. But man, speaking of number two, my goodness, I mean, this was some, number two out of Jaylen Brown. I don't understand the flopping thing, and again, maybe it's because I'm old. I don't know. But in my day, when you sold an offensive foul or whatever, you get in the lane and someone bumps into you, you fall back and you slide across the floor, right? You get the charge call. That's a hustle play, right? I don't understand the sudden hate for whatever we call flopping now. That's a hustle play, man. You get your team back the ball. How are we looking at that as a bad thing? I mean, listen, any Cavaliers who may be tuning in, sell any possible foul, sell it hard during I don't care during the Pistons series. I will not call you a flopper. I don't know. Is that a thing? Home of the flopper? No, I don't know. I really don't understand. No, we're done. No, we're gonna move
that
on.
would make your top 5 chicken sandwiches, I'm sure, the flopper. All right, go back to you.
It's just moving all the way past that. I don't understand. The refs are targeting Jaylen Brown. You would think Boston has to be looking at him like, okay, man, come on. But that's why, again, that's why you're not hearing about things until 45 minutes before game time, because reasonably you can't run back with your phone in the locker room and sit and go on Twitch and go, hey, look, here's what's going on with game 7. I just don't, I almost don't even have words on this. This was so bizarre to me. It was such a weird reaction to a loss. And like you said, it's kind of, it feels like the actions of a person who's done with the situation, right? They're ready to move on. It doesn't, I don't know. It doesn't feel like you can really come back from this now. It just was really bizarre.
Yeah, I agree with you, Chad. You mentioned the Twitch stream, the comments about how this was his best season in the best season he's had. He's had so much success, so much fun, and all. It just is weird that your most successful season isn't winning the NBA championship with your, co-teammate, your co-star, whatever, Jason Tatum. It's the season he's out, and you get an opportunity to show what you are going to do as the number one start. And I get it. Yeah. Joe Mazzulla is not, we just don't have enough time on the show today to talk about Joe Mazzulla and the lineup he trotted out there with 0 minutes played together all season. But at the end of the day, AA has said it. You've said it, Chad. We've all said it here on the network. Stars show up when it matters most, or you go home. Yeah. And Jaylen Brown did not show up enough for the Boston Celtics to get it done. I get it. They had that big run at the end to try to scare Philly and the shots were falling. Well, they weren't falling early enough. And Jaylen Brown, that falls on you because you are the star, the number one option. Everything you wanted and more. And guess what? You're sitting at home because of it. Because you had so much fun. I hope you have a great time going on Twitch for the next 2-3 rounds because that's where you'll be. In fact, if you want to come on the Inside Edge Network and join Chad and I for a segment and discuss it, I mean, you got some time. You got some time. So why don't you come see us, talk to us, and let's figure out why this was the most fun season. Because, yes, Chad, I agree with you. This is literally the actions of a guy that is out the door. I'm telling you, Jaylen Brown will not be a Boston Celtic in October, let alone August.
And why is it always it's always around the Celtics in the playoffs? Remember when LeBron was here and he was going to leave? He had that horrible series against the Celtics. Remember, he couldn't dribble a basketball. Like he shot a couple free throws left-handed. We were all like, "What are you doing, man?" Like, and then he was gone. Right? It was like it looked like the actions of a person who was just done, ready to move on. And it seems to like this kind of weird stuff hovers around the Celtics in the NBA playoffs. I don't understand. But yeah, this was, I don't know another word other than just really bizarre. It's almost hard. It's almost so unprecedented. It's hard to react to. It's just really, I can't imagine the franchise or anyone that is in charge of this franchise. The Celtics is very happy about this, right? You can't be happy about that.
No, I mean, the only way you go out and say the things you say on a Twitch stream, if you're Jaylen Brown, is if you won that game, won this upcoming round, won the following round, and then won the NBA championship. Then you could talk about how much fun it was being the number one option.
Yeah.
But in reality, that's Jason Tatum's team. That is Jason Tatum's team.
Yeah.
And Jaylen Brown got blessed, and he earned it to get that life-changing money. I mean, the most money at one point in NBA history. He deserves it. I'm not going to sit here and say Jaylen Brown is not a good player. He is one of the better players in the NBA. Top 15, I'd say, at worst. At worst, top 15 player in the league. And that's just because to give me some more time to go over my top 15 list, I guess. We'll save it for Tuesday down the line.
15, yeah.
But, Chad, could you imagine if Darius Garland, when he was still here, was doing this after playoff losses? Or if James Harden or one of these other guys in Cleveland.
No. And it wasn't on a Twitch stream, but we basically had Kyrie doing this before. This feels like when Kyrie left, and it's like you're almost when you do this when you're so outspoken, right? And you're a part of this. First of all, I mean the Celtics are clearly a very historic franchise, right? But now it feels like this has like Kyrie vibes when he left and just became another guy in a bunch of different places, right? And never really rose to the heights that maybe he thought he would. Or that he rose to here in Cleveland. It just never really worked again, you know? And he's a good player. He's got great handles. I mean, my goodness, he's probably one of the best ball handlers I've seen in the last 20 or 30 years in the NBA. It's unbelievable. I told you before the show, he's so smooth with it. I miss Kyrie here. But I miss Cleveland Kyrie, not, the guy who turned into flat earth Kyrie and went off the rails. And I don't know. It's like sometimes I don't know. This just it gives me the same vibes, I guess.
And I was muted there, pal.
You were,
but I will tell. Oh, hey, Ghost is back in the studio. But I'll tell you this. Yeah, I agree with you exactly what you're saying. This just reeks of I'm bigger than the team. My brand has now become bigger than the team. Yep. I'm Jaylen Brown. I'm bigger than the team. And it's kind of just disheartening, right? It's disheartening if you're a Celtics fan. I mean, it don't really bother me none because he doesn't play in Cleveland, so it doesn't impact the locker room chemistry here or nothing like that. But it would bother me if this was one of our star players talking about how much fun they had if Donovan Mitchell wasn't running with them that year. It's weird behavior out of a guy who's always kind of had this, well, I can do it, but it's wrong when everybody else does it. And it's
where does he end up now where he's the number one guy? Because he's not going to go somewhere established with, let's say like he's not going to go to the Knicks, right? He's not going to go to the Pistons. He's not going to go to his options are now limited, I would think.
I think the key spot, Chad, not to interrupt you, the key spot to keep an eye out for is Phoenix.
Okay.
The Phoenix Suns.
Right.
Does this mean he's going to be
out west? Yeah.
Yeah. Is he going to be a superstar? No. I mean, is he going to be in a superstar, laden team rather? No. Yeah. Will he get to be a superstar and ball out? Sure will. Just figure it out in Phoenix. He did play ball at at Cal, so he'll be back, like you mentioned, on the West Coast. So it would make a ton of sense. And the reason being is because you moved Devin Booker over to Boston. Devin Booker has been craving to win an NBA championship. He was in the 2020, I believe, NBA Finals against the Milwaukee Bucks. Or excuse me, the 2021 NBA Finals against the Milwaukee Bucks. 2020 was the Lakers, but 2021, where they played the Bucks. Yeah, and they had that drop off, real disheartening with Chris Paul. They thought they were going to do it. They lost to Giannis. Giannis gets his ring, and Booker has never really been close since. And I feel for Devin Booker. He's always been a solid player, a guy who's just going to go out there and get you a bucket and do what the team's asked. He's been very loyal to Phoenix. He's been there for over a decade now. He's been very, very loyal to the Phoenix Suns.
That's crazy.
I think Jason Tatum and Devin Booker, and if they don't have to give up too much, if they have to, give up some picks, Jaylen Brown's the centerpiece, and maybe a few of these other guys in the rotation, sure, you get Devin Booker in there with Jason Tatum. That's great for the Celtics and really bad for the rest of the Eastern Conference. But I say Phoenix is one to keep an eye out for. I do think the most likely move for Jaylen Brown, and again, this is just my hunch, my opinion. I think Jaylen Brown's a Phoenix Sun this offseason.
Okay.
So we'll keep an eye on it. Keep an eye on it. Chad, do you have anything else that stood out to you in these NBA playoffs? I know we got a few minutes before we go to break. Do you have anything that stands out to you NBA playoffs wise, or are you just ready to talk some baseball, pal?
I mean, I just, as I look at the Knicks, they terrify me.
Okay.
They're up, well, on my screen, it says 135-98 right now on the 76ers, who, and again, maybe we looked at the 76ers as like, wow, what an accomplishment. You took out the Celtics, but now maybe we get a little bit of a better idea of what was going on inside. So maybe that's not the accomplishment that we thought it was. And then you've got the 1 seed and the Pistons here. Maybe the East is more wide open than we thought, right? Before I've gone back and forth with the East because in the offseason, that was the talk, right? Cavs will cruise to the 1 seed in the East. The East is wide open. Celtics are in shambles. Nobody thought the Pistons would do what they did. The Knicks are, whatever. They're fine. They're going to be okay, but they'll be the 3 or the 4 seed. The Cavs should cruise to the 1 seed. They didn't. We got off to a terrible start. But now that we're watching the Eastern Conference playoffs kind of play out right now, all these series, I don't know that there's a team right now in the East besides the Knicks that look like they're actually wanting to go out and take this, right? Like the Cavs have, they've confused you at times. They've looked really, really good. They've looked like the 1 seed at times, but usually for about 1 quarter a game. And then they kind of settle back into, whatever funk they're in. The Knicks have just been really consistent over the last 3 or 4 or 5 games, and they're starting to scare me. I might have Knicks nightmares tonight. I don't know. That scares me a little bit.
Well, hey, listen, in fairness, you deserve a little Knicks nightmares because whatever you had me listen to the other day, disclaimer, I'm going to pull the curtain back here for a moment. We got to go to break in just a second. Chad had me listen to some of the scariest stories I've ever listened to. And for those at home wondering, I'm more of a comedy kind of guy, like documentaries. Chad's like, please, he's been begging me for months, people, to listen to this. He's like, please listen to this story.
I'm like, don't think you, Jaylen Brown. I will go on a Twitch stream right now and blow you up, man. I will. Everybody, yeah.
Please listen to this, or our friendship's forever gone. And I said, okay, so I had to listen to it, and I get to listen to this. We wrapped up with Midnight Run. Chad was still happened to be awake because he handles, he's got the fam and everything. He's busy all the time. I'm awake because I'm a night owl, and I just finished the show and I'm winding down. And he's like, all right, now you have perfect time to listen to that. I got about halfway through his story. I don't think I've slept since.
It's okay. You'll be out. One day you'll sleep again, man. One day you'll sleep again.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, it's going to be John Starks and Patrick Ewing out there with the current Knicks squad. I'm like, what happened? How'd they mesh this together?
Ooh. All right.
Okay, Starks is a streaky shooter. He'll miss a bunch of my dream. It'll be fine.
All you need is Reggie Miller to come in. He'll end. You got it.
Rug pulled out from both. See ya. That's it.
You got it. Hey, Chad Bryan, the leader of Nightmare Fuel. So he is here. He is doing his thing. I'm Eli Moon. This is Inside Edge Primetime. If you're enjoying all the coverage, we've had a few technical difficulties, but it's Monday, and that comes with the territory. But we keep rolling. And if you're enjoying everything, make sure you like, subscribe, follow at Inside Edge Net on all of the socials: YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, everything else, Twitch even. Give us a follow, like, subscribe, all the great stuff at Inside Edge Net. And again, the tremendous website, InsideEdgeNetwork.com, all the great stuff. The QR code above Chad's head takes you to the partners page. Go to all our great sponsors. You got Alley Rose, AlleyRoseFragrances.com, Fanatics, W Energy. You have Monster Moments and Sports Memorabilia, which we haven't heard from yet. We will hear from them during the break. So great stuff there. All of our great partners, sponsors, you can go right there. It'll take you there and with the QR code. And then go over to the merch page, the shop page, check everything out, and check out the personalities page. If you want to learn a little bit more about Chad and I and all the other great personalities here on the Inside Edge Network, then go to the InsideEdgeNetwork.com. Great stuff.
Yep.
All right, Chad.
Support literally means the world to us. I just want to say that
yes.
before the break.
You're damn right.
Means the world to us.
Absolutely. No, we literally could not do this without you. As Chad said, you guys literally keep us rocking and rolling. And thank you for choosing us as Cleveland's digital leader, your source of sports, entertainment, mental health conversations, news, everything in between. We truly appreciate you. Again, this is the first day of daily shows. You're going to get 3 daily shows a day, Monday through Friday. Unfiltered with Kyle Cornell, 5 to 6 p.m.
Yep.
Then you have Inside Edge Primetime with Chad and I, 10 to 11 p.m.
That's us.
And then that's us. And then Midnight Run with Anthony Alford, midnight to 1, Monday through Friday. Of course, all of our great weekly shows as well. Real Talk with Pop Moon on Saturdays at 5 p.m. You have Jersey Chasers on Wednesday nights. You have the Voice of the Lamb podcast. You know, you got Ryan Mosser and Kevin Arnold. You have Commissioner's Couch. I mean, just some great stuff all around. Main event on Sunday. We just started off the week. A lot of great stuff. Conversations with Eli Moon. I know that guy. We're doing a lot of great stuff. A lot of great stuff here. We'll have, of course, appearances throughout the week coming up here. Stay tuned very soon. We'll have TK Dandridge joining us to give some takes along the way. And, of course, Ryan Mosser. We'll get some great stuff. And, of course, other network personalities from the Inside Edge Network and everything else. We say all that to say thank you for choosing us as Cleveland's digital leader and your source for everything we just mentioned. So, with that being said, Chad and I are going to take a quick pause. When we come back, we're going to talk some guards ball.
Oh, boy.
Travis Bazzana, he got a hit.
Hey.
He got a hit. So we're going to talk about Bazzana, the offense, the guards, and then we're going to put a bow on this thing with some final thoughts. But, of course, this is Inside Edge Primetime on the Inside Edge Network. That's Chad Bryan. I'm Eli Moon. If you missed what Kyle Cornell had going on earlier today on Unfiltered, you may want to check this out here as we go to break. This is Inside Edge Primetime here on the Inside Edge Network. Back after this.
Hey guys, Kyle here from Unfiltered. What a fantastic show we had today talking about Parma schools and their current situation with the school board member, of course. Coming up tomorrow on Unfiltered, talking about gas prices. I think we have to bring that up at some point here. Also, it's election day. The primaries, I should say, are here. It is May. That means it's time. We'll talk about that. And got to get into a little bit of what's going on at the Metro Park Zoo here in Cleveland. All that and more coming up tomorrow on Unfiltered with Kyle Cornell. Do not miss it.
Find us online at InsideEdgeNetwork.com. That's InsideEdgeNetwork.com for the latest information on all your favorite Inside Edge Network personalities, favorite shows, and our network partners. And also, we are independent. We are grassroots. Support us and support your local community digital sports leader with our merch store. Yes, we have a merch shop. There it is right there. Look at all the great stuff you can get there. The Champion Packable jacket. Got the Inside Edge Network t-shirt. How about hats? How about a glass? How about an official polo from the Inside Edge Network? We got water bottles as well. And you can customize it. Multiple different colors and sizes that we have available for you. That's right. Rep the network. Support us here at the Inside Edge Network. We are Cleveland's digital leader for sports, entertainment, mental health, and the culture. Check out our merch store right now at InsideEdgeNetwork.com. That's InsideEdgeNetwork.com.
Whether you're searching for a baseball autographed by your favorite World Series slugger, a signed football by an iconic Hall of Famer, or the jersey of a world-famous soccer star, you've come to the right place. Here at SportsMemorabilia.com, the web's leading source of authentic sports memorabilia, you'll find more than 500,000 authentic products from nearly every professional sports league, team, and player. Not only will you find your next prized sports possession with ease thanks to superb customer service and tremendous site experience, but you'll have the satisfaction and peace of mind that every product listed comes complete with a certificate of authenticity and is fully backed by the SportsMemorabilia.com lifetime authenticity guarantee.
And welcome back to Inside Edge Primetime here on the Inside Edge Network. Chad Bryan to my right. Sometimes he runs away, and we got to check on him. But he's over to your left, and I'm Eli Moon. We are back in the flesh here on this Monday edition of Inside Edge Primetime, here with you all week. Something to get used to. Yes, we're here with you even on Friday, Monday through Friday, 10 to 11 here on the Inside Edge Network. We appreciate you. As you heard Double A during the break, check out the merch, man. Check out the new shop page on the InsideEdgeNetwork.com. Check out all the great stuff, the partners page, all the great stuff. You heard from the partners all throughout the show. We are gracious for all of our incredible partners, for all the support from you, the community out there, wherever you may be. We appreciate you. Thank you so, so much. We could not, again, do it without you. So thank you from Chad, from me, from the Inside Edge Network, all the way up to the top, from Double A Anthony Alford and Peter Telep, who is the owner and operator of this whole thing. Thank you. We could not do this without you.
Truly appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, Chad.
Many words.
Yeah, I know. You're speechless. Very rare for you to be speechless. I'm a little,
yeah.
Right. Well, with that being said, we're going to dive into some guards ball before we get out of here, because we'd be remiss if we didn't talk about the Cleveland Guardians. They are in a little bit of a pickle, Chad. It's all right, but they did lose today 6-2 against the Kansas City Royals, a division rival. And I guess my biggest question to you right now is, okay, we'll talk Travis Bazzana. We'll talk about him getting a hit. Congratulations, Travis Bazzana. We're very happy about that.
Yeah.
But it kind of brings you back to a conversation we had last week. What is the bigger issue? Is it this offense or is it the bullpen? Or is it a mixture of both? I guess because I gave so much praise to the offense last week. I said, no, it's not the offense. They're stringing together some big games. And I know they had the 14-run day in Sacramento or wherever, but they just don't seem to be getting too much except for out of the same guys. And I guess that's a little concerning to me.
Yeah. I mean, I'm looking at some batting averages here, and I think that we're at the point in the season where unless Austin Hedges is physically unable to do it, he probably should be playing maybe 4 to 5 days a week right now. I don't know. I mean, I'm looking at 135 and 1 home run and 4 RBIs out of Bo Naylor in 25 games. That's 74 at bats. I mean, that's a solid sample size. I know sometimes we talk about the Guardians and their offense. They don't warm up until Memorial Day. I get it. But my goodness, man. I mean, we've got 176, 217, 213, 224. That's actually getting into the pretty good. That's Stephen Kwan. So, I mean, we're looking at an offense that's struggling pretty mightily outside of a couple of guys. And I think Bazzana, I know, some people, you got to send Bazzana back down and get whatever. This thing's got a few hits now. He's also walked more than he's struck out at the major league level. I think that's a really, really good sign. He's going to have some patience at the plate, right? He's got a good awareness of what the strike zone is. He's not chasing pitches out of the zone for the most part. So typically when guys come to the major leagues and their plate appearances look like that, eventually it rounds out. They start getting the hits are going to fall. I think he's doing a great job. I don't think there's any concern really about Bazzana. Just give him time. Give him time.
Yeah, right.
What does concern me though is Bo Naylor. Bo Naylor hitting 135 is. And listen, I like Bo Naylor. For all intents and purposes, he's probably a great guy. I don't know, but I think you got to maybe look another direction behind the plate right now. You got to look for some kind of offense. If you had a bunch of guys, if this was 1995, and you had a bunch of guys in the lineup hitting 340 and 50 home runs and whatever. Well, nobody would have 50 home runs now. That would be crazy. But you know what I mean. If you had guys that were going to do that and you knew that you had that lineup, fine. Okay, you put Bo Naylor if he's excellent defensively, then sure. But I even think Hedges does a nice job of handling the pitching staff. And I'm not saying Naylor does a bad job of it, but I just don't. I mean, maybe Naylor has a little more upside than Hedges at this point, but my goodness, I mean, we got to get Hedges back there behind the plate almost every day, unless he's physically unable to do it, right? Another thing that you've got going on right now. There should be no panic. The Royals are a pretty good baseball team. They're going to finish higher than 4th in this division. They're pretty good. But the Tigers, Terry Skubal, man, elbow surgery. He's got some loose bodies in his. Why does he have bodies in his elbow? Maybe we need to investigate that. But no, he's got some loose bodies in his elbow. He's going to have surgery. He's going to be out. I mean, probably too long to even realistically help this team make a playoff push. And I feel for him personally, but as the Guardians, that's your main rival right now in this division. I mean, the Tigers were starting to kind of put things together. That's a huge blow for them. And they've got, some guys that are hurt anyway. Their season's kind of, it's falling apart on them a little bit, but you never root for injuries. But right now, if you're the Guardians, you have to take advantage of this, right? So I think that's another reason that you don't panic. You've got some time to figure this thing out without the Tigers really having the threat of turning into this juggernaut in the division. I don't think you're going to see the Guardians fall down 15 and a half games to anybody this year. That's a good thing. But at the same time, they got to get going a little bit. You got to figure it out, but there's no panic right now. Just, find a lineup that works and hopefully the bullpen rounds into shape. I mean, it's hard to pinpoint exactly what's going on with either one of these, the offense or the bullpen, but
right.
Have been pretty good. A Double-A sent us an alarming number with Tanner Bybee and run support and how lacking it's been. So yeah, right now I think you try to fix the offense a little bit and you'll get the bullpen going as you go. It's easier to add bullpen guys down the stretch than it is to add guys who are going to make a huge impact in the offense.
Yeah, and real talk, not with Pop Moon this time, even though you said that on Saturday. This is real talk with Eli Moon for a second here. You're not going to get a immaculate, spectacular trade or go sign somebody that's waiting on the waivers or whatever. Just to be very frank, and blunt here. The Guardians made their big splash with Travis Bazzana, so we should be celebrating that. I know that kind of sounds a little shallow to some, celebrate, call up. We already had the guy. That is the big move for the Guardians, and that is what it is. So, to your point, Chad, they got to figure out with what they have, what they can shape up to make a little bit of a stronger lineup. I mean, Gabriel Arias hopefully will be back from the injured list soon, so he can help out if he continues his bat right before he went to the injured list. Maybe he helps out a little bit with that infield rotation, at least takes a little bit of pressure off Bazzana for right now. We'll keep an eye on that, but I think the big thing you hit on it. I couldn't have said it any better myself. Austin Hedges should be getting some more playing time because when is the time for Bo Naylor? We talk all the time with Evan Mobley in a Cavaliers situation where Okay, when is he going to do it? When is he going to do it? But Evan Mobley's actually making leaps. When is Bo Naylor going to become an everyday catcher that we can actually count on? And that seems to be the problem.
Yeah, that's a big problem right now. And there's not enough that he does, I think, defensively behind the plate, whether it's handling the staff or throwing out runners, whatever, caught steal, whatever. There's just not enough that he does that makes up for that 135 batting average on a team that's so bad offensively right now. Again, like I said, if you had a bunch of mashers, okay, fine. You take your time, you let him develop, you let him whatever, you give him the time to work it out. But I think you've got to do something sooner than later there. And really quick, I want to say Jose Ramirez just picked up his 300th career stolen base. Yeah. He is closing in on Eli 300 home runs and 300 stolen bases with one team. Do you know the list of players who've done that? What that list consists of?
It's got to be a tiny list, like maybe 2 or 3 guys, 5 guys.
It'll be Jose Ramirez and Willie Mays. That's it,
dude. What an incredible stat there, Chad. All right.
It actually gave me goosebumps to say that. Unbelievable stuff from Jose Ramirez. Just absolutely unbelievable.
That is incredible. You went way back.
We live in a great era of Cleveland sports. Believe it or not, we are in maybe the best era of Cleveland sports. So,
yeah.
Appreciate that.
And we can sure talk about that, throughout the week. I mean, but it is a great time to be a Cleveland fan. Jose Ramirez, a lifer, it appears here for the Guardians. Cavaliers moving on to the second round. And the Cleveland Browns, well, we'll say that for Double A. We'll say that for Double A.
Sure.
Maybe he'll talk about it sometime this week. We spent
enough time. Maybe they'll come out with an orangey orange again. I thought that was cool one year when they did that.
Yeah, a lot cooler than what they're talking about right now. A lot cooler than that. But hey, we're running out of time, Chad. So I don't think we're gonna be able to talk Cleveland Browns today. Maybe tomorrow. But again, before we get out of here, we'd be remiss without getting our final thoughts. Do you want to start, or do you want me to go?
Actually, you go tonight. Yeah.
Perfect. All right. I will start with this. Very, very, I guess start and end with this. My final thoughts are that it's been a great week. Like Chad said, it's been a fantastic week for sports, for Cleveland. I know the Guardians lost today, but still, baseball's back. The weather's starting to get a little warmer. You can go to the stadium, enjoy Progressive Field, enjoy that atmosphere. The Cavaliers are pushing to the second round now against the Pistons. Yes, the Browns had a great draft, so we'll talk about that. They had a great draft. That's what we'll leave with them. But great stuff here. The weather's nice. A lot of great stuff. And it just made me happy. I've been very blessed. Really, I mean, for a long time now, but I've been very, very blessed in realizing just all the blessings around my life. So I just wanted to say, I know I've been taking a lot of time for gratitude. I will continue to do that here with my final thoughts, to say thank you to everybody out there watching. Thank you to the Inside Edge Network for having just the support, from all of the people around us, all of our coworkers, Double A, the program director, Peter Tellup, the owner of the, operation here. Thank you for believing in Chad and I to do this thing, steer it for an hour and do the thing. Thank you for, again, the Inside Edge Network, everybody we work with. We truly, truly appreciate you. We appreciate the community out there, everybody watching, to Haley, my music collective, building community there. I'm gracious to all the guys, all the bros. I'm just very, very gracious. And it makes me smile when the bros tune in. Narrator actually tuned in tonight and said, he was doing some math here, Chad. He said, that means Cavs beat them by 12 points the whole series, referring to the Raptors. And it makes me think, you're right. You're right. Yeah. That's true, narrator. 12 points the entire time. So cherish things like that. Yes. 5-6 years ago, the Cavaliers team would not have been in position to talk about those types of stats and things like that. So, again, maybe tomorrow you might get grumpy Eli Moon. It's very rare. Tonight, I'm gracious. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And a reminder, daily shows running all week on Filter with Kyle Cornell, 5 to 6. Primetime with myself, or Chad Bryan and myself, and Double A Anthony Alford, Midnight Run with Anthony Alford, midnight to 1. So a lot of great stuff, and I'm just gracious, Chad. Now, after my burger list tomorrow, you might see how gracious I am after I get roasted, but we'll see. We'll see.
All right. Well, you have an idea of what the Tuesday top 5 is going to be tomorrow. So you can't come in disappointed.
That's right.
Yeah, Double A can't come in and listen. Don't yell at me. It's not my list.
Yeah. I guess the cat's on the back.
I'm just doing the graphics this week. It's not. Hey, I'm done this week. It's all. I'm off the hook. Yeah. I feel vindicated already. I don't know what your burger list is going to look like, but if it's hot garbage, it's not my fault.
Yeah, it's true. That's true. But it won't be. I've ate so many good cheeseburgers in my life, and yeah, cat's out of the bag. Top 5. If you need one reason to tune in tomorrow besides seeing Chad and I's smiling face, top 5 Tuesday cheeseburgers. Now, these aren't like we said, we always put the stipulations. This isn't like Delmonico's or any of these places that are like you're not going to Delmonico's every week. Or at least I'm not. So these are like,
you got it like that. I'm happy for you, but we're not doing that. Yeah.
And if you'd like to invest in the Inside Edge Network, all right. But like, cheeseburgers.
Grassroots.
Yeah, cheeseburgers tomorrow, Chad. I think, is that your final thoughts too? Cheeseburgers?
Cheeseburger Chad. Yeah, why not? Listen, I want to say as much as the Guardian. Okay, let's just go all Cleveland sports. As much as Cleveland sports have struggled over the last, 10 to 12 months here and there, right? We talked about the Cavs off to the bad start. Didn't expect it to go 7 games with Toronto. The Guardians can't hit the baseball right now. The bullpen can't get anybody out. As badly as these teams are struggling, you've got a Guardians team who's tied with the Tigers for first place in the American League Central. The Tigers are likely on their way down. Again, I'll never root for injuries. I'll never cheer for anyone to be injured. There may have been one time, but I'm not going to say. But other than that, never, ever, I will ever, especially in a competitive state, like, hey, the guy's hurt, now we're going to win. Never will you ever hear me say that. But the Guardians are tied for first place. We are talking about a Cavs team who disappointed us in a 7-game series, but came out on top. They're moving on. So for once, it's like these sports disappointments are still resulting in wins, right? So take that for what it's worth, and don't be surprised when the Browns go 14-3. No, they're not going to do that.
Whoa.
It's just been a lot of fun. Like, you can actually talk about Cleveland disappointments that result in a series win or in a first place team or the Browns, whatever. And hey, they might get a really high draft pick next year, even though they've got one of the weakest schedules in the NFL, but we said we weren't going to talk more Browns. So just appreciate where we are right now. I really, truly believe, as we were like just thinking about it we really are in a great era of Cleveland sports right now. You've got a title in the last 10 years. You've got 2 teams in town right now that are legitimate title contenders, right? I mean, the Guardians are right there. They need a couple of things to go their way offensively and maybe the bullpen to get rounded out. But when they find those things, when they figure those out, they're going to be dangerous. The Cavs are moving on. The Cavs can win a title. Well, they can get to the finals. That Western Conference. Whoever comes out of the Western Conference is going to be, they're going to be tough. But you've got title contenders in town right now. You've got disappointments that have resulted in series wins and first place teams. It's a fun time to be a Cleveland sports fan, and we try to bring you the best coverage that we can of these teams. So just enjoy it.
Absolutely, pal. I could not have said it better myself. You've been on fire tonight.
Hey.
You must have had a chicken sandwich from Dave's
That's
Hot Chicken. Yeah. All right. With that being said, before we talk more chicken sandwiches, we might have to put a bow on that. We'll put a bow on the show. This has been a very, very fun time here with all of you. We appreciate you so much. Then we'll do it again tomorrow. How's that sound? Same time, same place. Here at the Inside Edge Network. Make sure you like, subscribe, follow all the good stuff. Inside Edge Net on all the socials. Give us a check out on the website. Go check out the website, InsideEdgeNetwork.com, and check out all the great stuff. The partners page, the shop page. So much great stuff. Yep. And check out the personalities page too. Get to know your favorite Inside Edge Network talent as well, because we care about you. So maybe learn maybe learn what my favorite color is. I don't know if I even have that in my bio, but if I don't, somebody call me out. I'll do it. All right. So with that being said, all joking aside, we are going to put a bow on this. All right, ladies and gentlemen, don't fret. Midnight Run with Anthony Alford up at midnight here on the Inside Edge Network. So if you did all the things we asked, like, subscribe, and hit the bell, follow, then you'll get the update when Anthony Alford goes live.
Yeah.
So with that being said, that is Chad Bryan to my right, your left. I am Eli Moon. This is Inside Edge Primetime here on the Inside Edge Network. A friendly program. I was going to say a friendly programming reminder that the Cavs radio voice, play-by-play announcer Tim Alcorn, will be with Chad and I tomorrow, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time, right after On Filter with Kyle Cornell. And then, of course, Inside Edge Primetime still at 10 o'clock, and Midnight Run with Double Anthony Alford at midnight. So a jam-packed day. Of course, we have conversations with Eli Moon as well. We'll keep an eye on all of that. A lot of programming stuff to talk about. Chad and I signing off for now. This Inside Edge Primetime here on the Inside Edge Network. Double Anthony Alford here at midnight. So we'll see what he's got planned. See you guys tomorrow.
See ya.